Professor and classmates, welcome to my presentation on a model of instructional design, andragogy. According to Malcolm Knowles, andragogy is the art and science of adult learning. Andragogy refers to any form of adult learning. Knowles emphasizes that adults are self-directed and expect to take responsibility for decisions. In practical terms, andragogy means that instruction for adults needs to focus more on the process and less on the content being taught. Let's take a brief look at some assumptions of the model. Adults need to know why they need to learn something, need to learn experientially, approach learning as problem solving, and learn best when the topic is of immediate value. Let's discuss them in more detail. Self-concept, why I need to learn. Transition from dependent to self-directed human being. As a person matures, her self-concept moves from one of being a dependent personality toward one of being a self-directed human being. Adult learners acquire new information and build upon existing knowledge and much more effectively if they are encouraged to explore a topic on their own. An example would be a Russian actress that was able to learn Spanish almost entirely on her own. Next assumption. Learn through experience. Learning based on experience. As a person matures, she accumulates a growing reservoir of experience that becomes an increasing resource for learning. Adult learners have had more time to cultivate life experience and typically have a wider knowledge base. Example would be, I now know why employers pay minimum wages. Because I have employees of my own, I have experienced the dynamic behind it. Continuing with our next assumption. Orientation to learning, problem-solving approach. From postponed application of knowledge, which is subject-oriented, to immediacy of application, which is problem-centeredness. As a person matures, her time perspective changes from one of postponed application of knowledge to immediacy of application. As a result, her orientation toward learning shifts from one of subject-centeredness to one of problem-centeredness. For example, adults will not only want to know why they need to acquire specific information, but whether or not that information can be applied in the immediate future. An example would be, I currently teach and will apply this learning to solve problems now instead of learning of later. Next, fine-tuning the skills. Question is, will this learning advance my social role? As a person matures, his/her readiness to learn becomes oriented increasingly to the developmental tasks of his or her social roles. An example for me would be, I will be more effective as a teacher. Let's see how these assumptions lead to the following principles. Planning and evaluation adult involvement. Adults must have had a hand in the design and development of their learning experience. They must truly be an integral part of the development and implementation of the curriculum, as well as of the evaluation process. Experience, including mistakes, allowed, and fostered. Experience should be at the root of all learning tasks and activities. Adult learners can take on their own approach when solving problems, which will give them the chance to use their knowledge in a practical way. There will be trial and error involved, which is what makes the overall learning experience more meaningful and effective. Learning problem-centered rather than content-oriented. Give adults, the learners, the opportunity to absorb information rather than memorizing it. The content being offered in adult learning courses should be problem-centered, as adults learners will want to immediately see how the instruction will help them to solve an issue they might encounter outside of the learning environment. Finally, learning subjects relevant to job, personal life. Real-life applications and benefits must be tied to the learning. Adult learners need to be able to tie the subject matter to real-world benefits and applications. If they cannot see how a module or activity will give them an advantage in real life, or how a particular learning course is going to apply to real-world situations, then they won't be excited about the learning process. Let's see some methods of delivery that can be successful. Case studies, role-playing, simulations, self-evaluation. When using these methods, always remember to create learning experiences that offer minimum instruction and maximum autonomy. Include a wide range of instructional design models and theories to appeal to varied experience levels and backgrounds. Utilize social media and online collaboration tools to tie learning to social development. Emphasize how the subject matter is going to solve problems that an adult learner regularly encounters. There must be a valid reason behind every learning course, module, or educational activity. Thanks for watching and participating.